It was just recently with the builder. I got a text that they wanted to try another cleaner. And so at first it sent like panic through my whole body.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? And so I took a couple weeks to just kind of sit back and say, hey, is there something that I'm doing that they're not happy with?
Yeah.
Instead of I was always focused on, well, this isn't done or that's not done. And it's just these little things. But it was like life was crazy and just felt a little out of control. So I just took that time for about 2 weeks, sat back and looked into everything and my feelings and the feelings of what's happening. And then I ended up texting all the guys and said, hey, I apologize if I was taking you guys for granted because I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to Taste Your Magic. I'm Ruth Barclay, and this is our YouTube channel. We do readings and help people with their gifts, and we also amplify their lives. We work with people in business and around the world with healing works, with communications. And a gift that I have is I can talk to anything, anywhere, and if it's willing to talk to me. So a lot of what I can do also is get a reference of what the person is going through. I can visualize, I can see, sometimes I can feel from our answers, and we can bring clarity and translations to some of the questions or what's happening maybe in your life. So I've been doing this work for 25 years. We have a ranch, we've got horses, we've got snakes that we do all kinds of healing work and retreats, and today we're doing a reading, and readings are anything about yourself, and or we can talk to a loved one who's passed on, or animal communication. What's really neat about today is I've got Lynn.
Hey, Ruth.
And Lynn is exceptionally gifted in a lot of areas. She owns her own businesses, but she's also brilliant with animal communication and especially with the horses. So we call her the Mustang Whisperer because she is highly connected to the actual wild Mustangs. And she even takes people out to the wild Mustangs, and the Mustangs come up really close, and it's quite the experience. Thanks for coming, Lynn.
You're awesome. Thanks for having me, Ruth. This is amazing.
We've known each other for
11 years.
11 years
Yeah.
and doing just different things
Yep.
for each other. And recently, you actually helped me with some of my animals, and I appreciate that a lot. And that's one thing that's really neat is work and train people in their gifts, but then for me to be able to step outside of who I am with my babies and say, "Hey, Lynn, I trust you. I know that you can do this. Can you help me?" And then for you to do it for me, it's just great. It's a great friendship. It's a great ability you have, and I'm grateful that you have it. So how can I support you? And you have a question today.
Well, I've noticed there's a lot of things that are coming together. I have my cleaning business, which I just signed another contract to do more work.
Nice.
And then I have my Etsy shop, and I'm going to be taking class for new construction inspections. And then I have the wild Mustangs. So right now it's just everything is here, everything is together. And I guess I just was wondering how it's all going to fit, if some is going to leave, or if it's all just going to kind of stay and play a part together.
But what's really remarkable is you showcase the ability to be in the ethereal, the spiritual side of things and building a business there. And then also, you're still in what they call like the real world workings. Your business here, and the new evolution of this world is being able to bring all of that together and live in that. So your question is kind of what's going to happen? Is anything going to drop off? If anything is going to amplify
Yep.
in that? So what are you most excited about?
The first thing that came to my mind right away was the inspection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said you're getting licensed to do it, or are you?
Yep.
Okay.
Gonna get licensed to do it. Yeah.
So what's exciting about that?
It's just kinda like something new that I'm gonna be learning, something different, kinda add to who I am as a person, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
But it also feels like I don't really need to let go of the new construction part of it either. Like, I could have people maybe running that for me or doing that work for me while I do the inspection part of it.
Is you're developing ways that you can hand over stuff, but then you get to manage it, or you get to get a manager, right, and all that. But the hardest thing that's gonna come up for you is the delegating
Okay.
part of things.
Okay.
When you start to get tired, you're gonna just kinda take it over.
Okay. That's not good.
Which you'd think you'd wanna do the opposite, but it's,
Right.
like, so much effort in, delegating things. The construction, the licensing, all of that is really gonna be breaking you into a whole new avenue, and it's gonna be really good for you. You're gonna love it. The other parts, you're gonna need to start delegating those out more
Okay.
with it. Otherwise, you're gonna kinda be swallowed up, and you just won't be able to shine in the parts that you shine. And what are you kinda feeling with that?
That I can't have control of everything, which is kinda interesting because it's like I learned in the new construction when I had people working with me and stuff like that, I wanted everybody to do it my way, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you have to get it done this way, everything had to be exact, but then I had to realize I had to pull back and say, "Hey, as long as you get to the end result, it doesn't matter how you do it." Okay.
It is really good. You have a lot of brilliant ways, though, and so if you can still keep your voice in a lot of it, then it's gonna help train people to be able to step up in their abilities even more, like solution creating.
Okay.
You'll be able to help them in their solution creating.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep doing that. This new license is really neat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really good with that. What are you most nervous about?
Just being able to remember all of it, the inspection and stuff like that to do it right.
I think that's just part of it, but you're experienced in details, and that's naturally who you are. You can see details really well. And then with your extra sensory gifts, you can ask, oh, that's one thing, is to remember the outside help, your guides, your internal system. Remember that when you're asking questions in your buildings, in your testings, in your pass offs, and different things like that. So sometimes we get really into the gifts of the energy when we're in it, right? And then as we start to navigate, we know it's there and we feel it. But then as we dive deeper into like the physical side of life and reality, we tend to go towards ourselves with our own answers or ask in like human to human. And you're being reminded to don't lose that outside energy information.
Okay.
Can you tell when you start to close to just you and like, I'm getting the answer from me versus I'm getting an answer that's supporting me?
Yeah, because it's fear. When it's coming from me, it's driven by fear.
Really good.
That's what I feel, yeah. And then when I just kind of breathe, sit back, take the time to think about it, then I open up the space to allow anything and everything to just come in and help guide.
That's really good. So that's the biggest thing. And that's really brilliant for like everyone to recognize when it's really coming from you versus it's the answer that's supporting you. And you're describing that as fear. Otherwise, it feels more open.
Mhm.
Does it feel more easy or not necessarily?
It feels easy. Really need to know, is this really me or is this really coming from the outside? So, yeah, I've had a lot of changes going on, so.
We want to share like a fun one you remember?
It was just recently with the builder. I got a text that they wanted to try another cleaner, and so at first, it sent, like, panic through my whole body,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Well, what am I gonna do?" You know? And so I took a couple weeks to just kinda sit back and say, "Hey, is there something that I'm doing that they're not happy with?"
Yeah.
Instead of I was always focused on, well, this isn't done or that's not done. And it's just these little things. But it was like life was crazy and just felt a little out of control. So I just took that time for about 2 weeks, sat back and looked into everything and my feelings and the feelings of what's happening. And then I ended up texting all the guys and said, "Hey, I apologize if I was taking you guys for granted." because I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
So,
What advice do you have for me? Use that same navigation,
mhm.
right, and the asking and stuff, and see what comes up.
Be careful for when it gets heavy
Okay.
and it feels like you're kinda going through a quicksand and stuff like that. Just step back a little bit and breathe. Breathe into the ground, feel your feet,
Okay.
and, open up the light above.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've kind of felt that weird, sandy, heavy feeling off and on, and it's been weird for me. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, "What? What?"
I,
And so just step back, breathe in, and open up for the next or even look around
yeah,
then,
yep.
right?
Just look around.
And be like, "Oh, that's a little bit of a heavy area.
Yeah.
Don't go
Or
there."
go and touch something so it kinda, like, brings you out of
That's the
that
part
a
I
little
missed.
bit.
Okay, so ground into actual ground
Yes.
and feel my feet.
Yep.
Grab a hold
Yep.
of something.
Touch something, yep, and then just kinda open up the light space above you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay.
That's so funny. Watch out for the salmon. I was like, huh? What did you say? Don't watch that movie. No, I'm just kidding.
That's so funny that came
I
through.
know. I love it. Anyway, there's proof right there. She shocked even me for a second. So this is great advice for any of you guys watching also to navigate between your reality, work, or whatever is happening in your reality as to what your gifts are, your energy side, and how things are being asked to join in this next space of this world. And so Lynn's given us a good example and some great advice to move forward in that too. Thank you.